right, man. 3, 2, 1.
All right, we're off. Episode 25. I know, all 10 of you that are listening, probably 3 of you are like, wow, did I miss episode 24? No, we just did 2 episodes of 23. We're like, should we recut it? Should we do it? Nope, we're leaving it. So you get 2 episodes of 23 and 24 does not exist. Welcome to the world. It's like we made a mistake. We're like, hey, fuck it. We're rolling with it. Because that's how you do it. Anyway, so this is episode 25, which if we're following the theme of lifetime, I think should be a rental car now.
We can rent a car.
Our insurance went down. Also, I think 25 is when it hits you like, dang, I'm kind of an adult.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like one yet, but the world starts to treat you like one.
Yeah.
Even if you're not ready for it.
It's a trip. We're a quarter of a century old.
Yeah.
Podcast.
20, yeah.
It's crazy.
25 is kind of when like, I think the world, I remember a distinct feeling of like, wow, I need to get my shit together. I need to buy a house. I need to do adult things, Mm-hmm. But that's a good, maybe that's why they put their insurance down at 25.
Probably.
Yeah. Insurance is they're really good at data and analysis. There's probably a reason for it.
25.
So anyway, yes, episode 25. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about a kind of more of like a soft skill subject is creatives, art, design, how to work with creative people, and maybe a little bit of the difference in the mindset of like a person who is wholly creative and that's all they do, and then a person who is somewhat creative but also like has an analytical mind or runs a business or has other focuses. And I think this is a cool conversation to have with you because one of the reasons I love working with you as a creative is that you are like top-notch, world-class creative, but you also understand the speed and the needs of like business aspects and the business atmosphere, and you don't get upset when I'm like, hey, I don't, I'm not really keen. Like we were talking about doing a different intro to the thing today, and I'm like, I kind of like our just off the cuff random shit, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't get upset about it.
No.
And sometimes some creatives, you guys know, if you have a brand, sometimes you have a conversation with the creative, like, you don't like my shit? Oh my God. And then they won't talk to you and they won't return your emails. And you're like, fuck, man. It can get frustrating. So I think you guys are in for a treat because this is a unique dynamic that Kota and I have that I think will help you guys a lot. And also from your side too, I think it would be helpful for our viewers because most of them probably like would be more geared towards like clients of yours.
Yeah. Like
what defines a good client for you? Because I know when I talk to a lot of the designers and creatives we use, one thing on my mind is I'm always trying to be a great client for them because I think that makes the working relationship a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be going off of this little handy worksheet that I have.
Yeah, Ryan showed me this before. It's amazing. Like it has a lot step by step of exactly what we're me talking about today. So
yeah, so if I'm if on the audio version I'm a little like steppy, it's because I'm referring back to these notes. I took this not just this chapter, but we're building essentially what is like an ebook or a e-product or something like that. But it's really just all the shit that I wish I knew and all the shit that we talk about in the podcast and Instagram, all condensed down into like specific topics. And then so like right now it's only 6 chapters. This one's chapter 6, how to develop art and creatives and all that. Chapter 1 would be like choosing a name and creating a brand. Chapter 2, business formation and financial structure. Chapter 3, e-com platform and domain selection. Chapter 4, branding and lifestyle. Like essentially, what is it and how to create it. And then chapter 5, what makes a good product and how to choose one. And the titles are really, these are all like super in-depth shit. And they're not free. So you do this podcast free. This shit's free. But if you want like the deep dive on all this stuff.
You want to go faster.
Yeah, by the time this podcast is out, they will be available on industrythreadworks.com. I don't even remember what we're charging for them yet, but it'll be, I guarantee you that you will get more out of it than, this is the shit that if I knew would have saved me tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars and literally years. So it's fucking worth the $50 or whatever we're charging for it.
Dude, just pay to go faster, Dude, like that's as a creator, as a content, like film, videographer, a graphic designer, like that's why I'm excited about this podcast specifically because I want to know like behind the brand or like apparel, you know, like if I wanted to start an apparel line, I can, but like I don't know where to really start what the graphics, which I know I could do, but there's more to it.
Nobody does. Yeah.
So like that's why I'm excited. It's like, oh, this is like deep dive kind of into it, but simple.
Yeah. And if you're not an apparel brand, don't worry. Like if you have any type of business, you're going to have to do some kind of marketing or advertising.
Correct.
And unless you're also on the creative side, like I do most of my designs, but not the artwork, right? So I have an idea and a vision for what I want, but then I hire an artist or graphic designer to like make it like really, really nice. Because I have the drawing skills of a drunk 5-year-old. Pretty bad. Drunk 5-year-old with crayons, like, yeah, that's me. That's my best work, man. So if you're not an apparel brand, don't tune out. If you have a business, you're still going to want to pay attention to this because it's going to help you a lot when you're talking with your designers, your artists, your people, anybody who's going to do any creative work for you. So first thing I think is important to understand is the difference of mentality between somebody who's like really, really great at creative work and somebody who's like, I'm okay at creative work, but I'm more on the mechanical side. And so sometimes like, when I was initially trying to find a designer to take over the design work that I was doing at Forged, it was very difficult because I talked to these people and I would approach them in the way that I would want to be approached. Like, hey, we need 6 designs, this many, this is the thing, this and that, and like very mechanical. And I remember we had this meeting with this one guy in like Orange County, and he's like a long-haired dude. And he had sunglasses on the whole meeting, which I thought was odd. I'm like, fucking what the fuck is this? It's just weird, you know? And I didn't realize later until after dealing with him and getting more experience, it's just because he was super like nervous and like kind of probably a little bit insecure and he wanted that protection. I just thought he was being a douche. I'm like, oh no, I was being the douche by not understanding what he was, you know, what his perspective was. And he gave us some designs and it was cool, but I think I ended up pissing him off because of the way I communicated with him. I was very like, straightforward, like, hey, this is what we need, this is what we want, this is the whole thing. Hey, here's these corrections, whatever. And yeah, he got it done, but it wasn't that quality stuff. And we never heard from him again. So I think I blew him out with that.
So with that, like, I want to take a step back because that's interesting to me. Like, where did you find him?
To be honest, probably MySpace. this is how long ago it was.
MySpace, guys. Before Facebook. And Facebook is...
prehistoric times. But this was probably like 2008 or 9. So Instagram didn't exist for another 5 years.
Yeah.
So your resources are limited. I think he's like a friend of a friend or something like that.
So you had a little bit of experience with what you wanted. Did you understand graphic design? Did you understand Adobe Illustrator? Did you understand that whole aspect?
Not at all. I had to teach myself it, which if you're a brand owner or a business owner, I highly recommend you guys get Adobe Illustrator. You don't have to buy it, just rent it. It's like $20 a month. And that will allow you so much flexibility and freedom in creating your stuff. Because another important part of dealing with a designer is you have to understand that what they're going to give you is never going to be you're going to be 100% happy with. So, but if you try to go, oh, it's 80%, oh, tweak this, oh, it's 90%, oh, tweak this. And now you're 10 emails deep asking them to tweak the most minute shit because you don't understand how actually easy it is to fix some of that stuff. Whereas so what we do now, we have a conversation with the designer, we lay it out super quick and clean. Like, hey, here's what we need. There's a lot of things on the front end, which we'll get to, but when it comes to that side on the back end, once it's complete, I'm not looking for 100% product. I'm looking for 80 or 90% product, and I can say, awesome, thank you, pay them, and send me the design files, preferably in AI. If you're doing any kind of t-shirt design, definitely make sure that your artist is giving you fucking artwork in a usable format.
Yeah.
Adobe Illustrator Vector is what is ideal for most screen printing operations. Secondary to that, Photoshop is useful. If they're giving you to any other format than that, give it back to them, ask them, hey, put this into an AI format or put this into a printable format. Let them know it's going with screen printing. And if they don't know what the fuck that means, they're the wrong designer.
Yeah.
Don't use them.
Dude, very short story. Me and Dylan were making we have our logo, right? I don't use Illustrator. I use After Effects for like one frame things and logo and stuff. So it's like it's a video editing software. I don't understand that shit. Dude, I just made the logo 8K.
What is that definition?
Yeah, so it's like 4K, 1080p.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's 8K. That's a huge fucking thing. Sent it into the people, and like a week and a half later, they didn't get back to us, and we're like, "Where's our order?" And like, "Oh, like you need to vector this shit." And I'm like, "That's an AK file." But like, see, to me, I was like, "Oh, that's not what it is. It has to be vector."
So that's why it's important choosing a designer. You need to find an artist or designer that understands the final delivery that this is going to be used on. If it's screen printing, very different art requirements than if it's going to be like, a print on a wall or a wrap on a car or a boat or something like that. Very different art requirements. But to finish up that, once I get it from them, it's going to like 80 or 90%. I'm happy with, because that's all I can really expect for them. If I push them and try to make them do a bunch of changes, it's just going to piss them off, and it's going to take 10 to 20 emails deep, and they're going to charge me more. It's a huge pain in the ass. Where if I'm just like the least bit, useful on Illustrator, I can get that 80 or 90% design, pull it in, and if I don't like the font, I can change it. If I don't like the color, I can change it, and it's so much easier, and it maintains a relationship with your designer. Like, it makes it way, way better, because you're going to be a much better client for them.
Mm-hmm. Is it something that you ever like go on Zoom calls and just talk instead of just emailing back and forth?
No, because the designers don't like to do that either.
Yeah.
Because think about all the super hyper creative friends that you have. Like, they usually like to smoke pot and sit around with the blinds drawn and just do their art. They're fully absorbed in their art. So the last thing they want to do is get on a phone call with a stranger. Worse yet, a Zoom call with a stranger. And like emails, like the least damaging thing that they'll do. But the best thing you could do is literally just like create something. Like, it doesn't have to be good at all, but just draw it on a napkin, bar napkin. If you're having some drinks at a bar, literally draw it with a fucking Sharpie on a napkin and send them a picture of that. That will help them more than a 500-word email about all this shit, because they're just not going to fucking read it. And you got to understand too, if you're asking for a visual artist to create you visual art, that's how they communicate. So you sending them a long ass email, number one, they're not going to read it. And number two, they don't even speak that language. So send them the information in a language that they understand. They don't expect you to be a good designer. That's why you're coming to them. So send them your crappy little, napkin drawing. And the way I like to frame it is very simple. Keep the email as short as possible and say, hey, I love your something positive. So I love your style. I love the creative thing you're doing. I would love for you to take this rough drawing that I have. I know it's crappy. I'm just trying to get you like a vision for what I have in my head. Can you do this? It's going on t-shirts. And what would that roughly cost, and how long would that take? Like, it doesn't have to be longer than that. In fact, don't make it longer than that, because they're just gonna be annoyed with you, and then you're a bad client, and they charge bad clients more. It is what it is. And how that process is going to go too, you'll send them your toddler sketch, and then they'll send you back like a sketch. So it's not going to be a fully finished one, but it'll look like kind of a hand-drawn sketch. And this is just kind of like, and sometimes I'll send you a few, like, hey, do you want to position this way? How do you want the hand position? Do you want this up here, down there? Kind of get the framing right. And they'll send you maybe 1 or 3 sketches. And that's the point where you need to make all the big changes. Like, if you want to remove arm position or change the angle or change big shit, you need to let them know in the sketch stage, because it's way easier for them to change things at that level than if you wait, because the next thing they're going to do is take whichever one that you choose, and they're going to flesh it out and do hyper detail and make it super rad. And then that's where you get something that's like, fully dialed. And then, like, if I were to go back at that stage and ask them to change it, or on this example, like move a tentacle or move some drastic stuff, dude, he's gonna be pissed. He's gonna be annoyed, and then now I'm a bad client. Is gonna charge more. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah, dude. It reminds me of a lot, because video, same aspect, reminds me of like tattoos. When people are doing the whole stencil, and then they put it on you, and they're like, all right, let's run it. We get it, and they're like, actually, it's like, fuck, like, I have to go re-stencil the whole thing. So yeah, it makes
it's
sense.
Exactly the same thing. Anytime you're dealing with like any kind of creative work, it's that. And also in this example, so this is what I got from our artist, and you guys, if you guys follow on YouTube, we'll do like a screenshot of this.
After this,
so you guys can see it. But I know you can see here, like, that looks very different than that.
Yes.
So this was like what I got from the artist. It was really cool, but it wasn't really how I wanted it. The art, it was really kind of dark, and the font wasn't what I wanted, but the overall structure, it looked really fucking cool. But this is like a 90% done solution for me. So I'm like, awesome. you did badass. Here you go, payment. Please send over the AI files. And I fucked around with it for another couple hours because I'm a nerd about that stuff. And added like some spikes around the end. I changed the opacity of everything. I changed or not the opacity, but the gradients, changed the font, changed the color, made the Kraken in this design like go from one color to like a really cool, like kind of bright orange octopus thing. And it really changed that dynamic of the whole design. And for you guys, this is actually a design. This is how it came out. Like, this is from my crappy little 5-year-old sketch to this. This is what a great artist is able to bring out. But it was a mix of what the artist, like my idea, the artist vision mixed with that, and then me just kind of tweaking it on the back end because I'm, familiar with Illustrator.
And I think that's a great thing. We've said multiple times, but just learn the basics of it.
Yeah.
It will save you so much time, and it'll be like, oh, like if even later down the line you wanted to switch something and print a different type of style shirt from it, you can know how to do it.
And it's kind of fun too. Like once you get used to it, like it's fun to have that much control over your finished product. Because at the end of the day, it's your vision that they're trying to bring to life, and it's never going to be 100% what you have in your mind. It's like, that'd be cool, but it'd be way cooler if we just did this. So this gives you the control to actually, affect change on it, make it exactly how you want it.
Hell yeah.
So I find it kind of addicting because now there's nothing that I don't fuck with.
Yeah, right.
So I get it. Even though I think it's awesome, like I'm still going to fuck with it.
Yeah, just copy, save, new file, just fuck around. Yeah, that's fucking sick though.
Know the styles of the art you're looking for. For example, if you're going for like tattoo, you wouldn't go to a tattoo artist who's really good at like, traditional sailor tattoos and expect them to do a hyper realistic like tattoo and opposite. Like you have to allow the artist to work within their medium or their style. So within that, it's you have to find an artist that you really like their style because you could have somebody who's, really good artist, but completely different styles and ask them to both draw a fish. It's going to be a fish, but they're going to be wildly different in the way they look. So if you're a brand or a business or something, find an artist whose style you already like and then have them work with you to bring your vision to life through their lens. And that's going to be a way better finished product than asking, somebody else to create something that's a completely different, style than they're good at.
When people come to me as like an artist, I love when they have reference. So just bring reference out to them and gives them the artist a better idea of what you're trying to go after. So,
are you talking about the
like reference pieces? So if you have a logo that's brand new, right, and you just created it, have other pieces of different like popular logos that you see on the streets that people can just get inspired from. Be like, oh, this is the style you like. Let's run it that way.
Oh yeah, like just you're talking about. I think it was a piece that we missed, but it was your video piece where you'll send clients back 3 different styles.
Yeah. So like music video wise, I will have 3 separate videos, completely different genres, and I'll say, hey, what style do you want your music video to look like? And they'll choose, number 3. And the other 2 don't look anything like number 3, so it gives me a better understanding. That's where we're running.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Is that something that I forgot that we actually do that? So one of our clients, Sons of Liberty Gunworks, they have a really cool logo with like a skull with a, revolutionary hat on and crossed muskets in the background. And it's very kind of like, it's been around a long time, but it's just like very clean vector. So I asked our designer who did the same one as his Kraken design for us, who worked with him a long time, and he redid our original eagle logo, double-headed eagle logo, into like the tattoo style one that we have now. So I sent him that as a reference. It's like, hey, our client is looking for a revamp of their design. This is what they're looking for. This is the original that you did with us, and here's how it turned out. They're looking for this. And I also sent him pictures of muskets so that he knew the details of what we're looking for. Because he's an artist. I'm pretty sure he's not into like, 1800 warfare. 1800 musket. Like he's not an expert on that. Yeah. So I had to give him specific pictures from the internet. Like, hey, here's what, a model 1880 musket looked like. And he drew exactly that. So anybody who is into muskets, we're like, they can look at them, they'll recognize the details of it, which gives the brand a lot more authenticity because it's a rifle manufacturing company. So like it's kind of important that the details matter,
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're giving the artist something to work from. Your napkin drawing is fantastic, but also give them something like if you're doing like a picture of a lion or something, you could have a picture. There's 1,000 different ways you can take a picture of a lion. Give him a picture of what you have in your head. Like, I like this framing. If it's head on, send a picture to them of a line like head on. If it's you want a 3/4, send them a picture of that. If you want a particular like vision for how his facial structure is or how he's looking in his expression, send them a picture of that. And you can send a couple. Like, one, you might like the expression, and one, you might like the framing. Send them two and tell them, hey, I love the framing on picture one, but I'd like him to have the expression on picture two. That's way better than the artist. It's way better than trying to type that out. Make him look angry, but subtly attractive.
Book a narrative, I know. And it just gives us more playful things to do. I'm like, oh, I like that idea. Let's run it this way, as an artist. It's fun.
Oh, if you can get the artist to buy into your vision and get them involved in it too, like, they're going to give a shit about it. And then, dude, you're going to get such a better product at the end, because you're not going to be like just a job for them. Like, they're going to really enjoy doing the work.
And the turnaround's faster. It's a lot faster.
Because you get priority. Artists like to work on shit they want to work on.
Exactly.
Okay. General costs and guidelines. This is important for when you're first starting out. Like the first photo shoot we did with Forged, had a really good photographer, but it was like, we set up the whole thing. It was our models, our vision for the shoot, our whole thing. And he's like, we found him, and he's he want to do some like license thing. We'll pay him like, I forget what it was, like $600 or something for the photo shoot. But it's like, yeah, well, I'll license the pictures to you for 2 years. Then after that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, bro. Like, we set all this up. Like, if like always bringing as a camera, like, we're not licensing shit. We're going to pay you whatever the rate is, and then we own the shit forever. We can do whatever the fuck we want with it. If you don't like that, I'll go buy a camera right now and click the picture myself. Like, we'll be fucking fine, So we had to basically just be like, dude, we're not doing any royalties or licensing or any of that shit. It's a flat rate, and we own the product 100%. Once we're done with it, we can do with whatever we want with it. That's, I think, the best way to go. It's the cleanest way to go. Some of the more advanced artists or creatives will try to do something like that. I say, unless you're like, unless your company is worth like $100 million, you probably don't need to worry about any licensing deals or anything like that. Just do a flat rate. You pay for your good work. A lot of the really good designers now are in like Philippines or some of the other countries where, $150 for a design, they're balling at $150 and they're super happy to do it. Whereas like the one that we did here, fantastic designer, but that cost us $500. That's our cost, So it's like, but it's also like completely hand-drawn, intricate stuff, and it's done in a format that's completely 100% usable, like one color, one layer, all done, dialed in. And so it's worth it for me to pay that guy, because I know the deliverables are going to be no issue. I know that we can do whatever we want with them. I'm not going to have to go back and be like, oh, fucking unlock this file. You didn't embed this image with this. You didn't do this. Like, I'll pay him more to make sure it's done right. But for you guys that are working with the designers, a couple good places to find them might be 99 Designs. Fiverr might be good. There's
Upwork's another one.
Yeah, Upwork is good. Usually the way that goes, you'll put out like a what's it called, a want ad or something. You make a posting.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's what I'm looking for, and you'll have a whole bunch of people bid on it, and then you'll choose the bidder, choose the best one, and then they'll flesh it out and create it for you. What I found is, if you do that with a bunch of different platforms and a bunch of different designers, you'll find one that you like working with, that gets your style, that understands the vision you're going for, and you'll establish a working relationship, and then just pull them off the site, contact them directly, and have them be your designer. There's tons of ways you can do with that. I know some of our brands that we work with, they have a designer on retainer that they're just like, it's like in the Philippines, and they tell them, it's not my brand, their brand, but like, hey, send me 4 new designs a month, and we'll pay you, salary per month, and whatever 4 new designs you send us, just keep sending them. And so they might only use 1 or 2 of those designs, but the fact that this guy is so like linked and embedded with that brand, now all their designs are like totally congruent. So everything you see with that design's like, illustrations on it, it's very recognizable because they have this continuity with the same designer. I don't know what their costs are with that, but I know every time we go overseas with designs, it's roughly between 150 for simple stuff to maybe like 350 for pretty advanced stuff. So for me, paying, an extra 150 to get like, to hire an American and do awesome shit that I know and trust his work that's congruent with everything else we've done, that's worth an extra $150 to me. So I don't know, just to give you guys who are listening some insight on like how all this kind of plays out. There's no real rules to it. There's just a lot of kind of like different variables, and you got to find your own way to kind of navigate it. But you'll figure out your own thing and find your own person.
Big tip, if you guys are doing the whole Upwork, Fiverr, I don't care who it is, they might have really cool portfolios. Go on the comment section, look at the reviews. I promise you, I've worked with a couple artists I'm very excited to work with. And I look at the comments and reviews, he has like 300 of them. Later look back after he sends me the work and it's ass. I'm like, what the hell? Look back through the reviews and it's like 40 of the same accounts did the same, just gave a review back to back. So it's like, you just gotta be, just do your homework when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah, we get screwed by one designer too. Like this just illustrates the exact like difference in mentality. Some designer in, was it Thailand or Philippines or something like that, but he was over there and it's for one of the side brands we're working with. And the owner of the brand was communicating with him directly, and he's telling me what was going on. And basically, like this dude this brand owner had paid him for the design, and then it was supposed to be done in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. And he'd contact him like a week. Hey man, what's going on? Any updates? And no response. And like a week later, it's late. And he's like, hey man, what's going on? Like we're supposed to have this done by now. And he sent him a picture of like his like motorcycle broken down or something. He's like, oh, I went on a motorcycle trip and my motorcycle broke. I'm like, what, yesterday, last week? No, it's a motorcycle convention. I've been gone all week. I'm like, you fuck, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh yeah, I actually finished it. I just didn't send it before I left. I'm like, you fucking dick. What the fuck? Because that's how they are though. Yep. They're just like, there's a lot of artists like that they just kind of do it to survive and live their life and go do fucking random nomadic shit. And you're like, it is what it is. Good designer, but I'm never working with that motherfucker again.
Happens
because they don't understand like timelines and deliverables and all this shit. Like they have a different mentality than you do as a business owner, which is why I'm so thankful that I work with you because you're creative and a business owner. You get it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference also between most artists are freelancers, and there's a difference between a freelancer and a business owner. And usually the difference is growth orientation, like growth mentality. And a lot of freelancers are happy with the lifestyle business and it's great. They're awesome. They live great lives. A lot of them make a lot of money too, but they're not usually growth focused. Whereas a business owner is a slight shift into like you want to grow your business like big. You have big goals and big dreams. So that shift right there means that you understand timelines, deliverables, and action items, and like that there's a structure to it. So
100%.
Yeah. Let me see. There's a whole bunch. We're kind of scattered with this conversation, but if you guys are interested in this, this actual chapter that we have is very focused, and it lays out all the stuff and gives you templates, like an exact template that we use with our designer that we send. So if you're interested, this will be useful. I want to say it's like $50. It's close to $50.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I'm not going to show the stuff with the text and give it out there, but I definitely have the screenshots going up on here so people can see like, what it looks like. Yeah. So they can understand like, it's the text, there's intros, outro. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys have been listening on just audio, not YouTube, you should see our sexy faces on YouTube. Yeah. We look good. We look good. And we sound good too.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny does a great job with this sound.
Thank you, Johnny. All right, I'm trying to see if I missed anything on here. I think that's it. We're kind of like just skipped over a bunch of stuff, but I kind of like the format for the podcast to just be like a lot of big picture, back and forth conversation, and then like the very focused like deliverables where somebody can actually dive into it, print it out, make notes, and have like a very structured plan forward. I think that makes sense to have like this, because if I just read this on the podcast, it'd be so fucking boring. Yeah, people go to sleep for sure.
And the aspect of like just having that, right? It'd be boring just to read it, but it's like just highlighting the main points of what it is, and like imagine what it is, like deeper dive paying for it.
Yeah. Well, also too, like $50. Try to keep this podcast entertaining and like educational, but also entertaining and fun for us too. I don't want to have a boring fucking conversation, right? So it would be super boring for me just to read what I fucking wrote, all like 8 pages over or whatever. So yeah, if you guys are a business owner or whatever, if you're working with any kind of creative at all, hope this podcast help you. If you want to go deeper on it, you want actual like templates and words and examples and like super detailed instruction on how to like do it better and save yourself some time and money and headache and heartache. Yeah, it's probably worth the $50 on industrytherapist.com. And tab's not even up yet. So by the time this is out, it'll be up. So if you own a brand, you'll be smart enough to figure it out.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me because it makes me, because I'm like a business owner too. So constantly, even though I'm in that space, I still want to make clothes. I still want to be able to do apparel later down the line. Yeah. So this is so fucking helpful.
Well, because from your side of it too, what makes like a good, because you've had good clients and shitty clients. Like, I like to think I'm a good client.
Like, great client, dude. Oh my God, you're a great client, right?
But also, like, are there some things that somebody should watch out for where they're like what's something that where somebody's come to you and you're like, bro, I never want to work with this person again?
Wasting my time in the aspect of you're coming to me because I have an expertise. I have a talent where I can help you in the space that you need help. You can come to me, but if you start wasting my time in the beginning, because usually like with my company, it takes them like a week, 2 weeks to set, you know? So we're like consistently going long term. I've had multiple clients where like they do the week, 2 weeks, and they're like, oh, we're out ahead of content. We got 2 weeks content backtracked. The next week, they don't send me anything. And I'm like, what the heck? Hey, we're going to fall behind. And then they stop. Yeah. And it's shit like that. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, I just can't do this anymore. I'm like, dude, it's only been 2 weeks. So it's like, if you're not serious about a certain thing and you just want to get your toes wet, like, I don't want that client. I want someone that's ready, heads on. Like, you might be like maybe intimidated, but if you hop on a call with me and we talk, and then you're like, nah, fuck it, let's run it, let's go.
So you're more like long-term relationship based or like the best clients.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Because that's the people I want to work with. I don't want to waste my time with people that are just like, I don't know, very timid. There's difference between being timid and you're not good in the beginning of creating video and being in front of the camera compared to, I don't want to. I'm
still not good on camera. I just don't care.
But that's the thing. And I've told multiple clients and the really great clients now, I love showing, I'll send them videos once in a while, like the first ones. I'm like, check out your first video. And they're like cringe and blah, blah, blah. But that's how I'm like, but you got to go through that shit and to get to that point. And so many of them are like, I'm so blessed to have you as a client where you help me just learn about video and get comfortable on camera. But like I said, it's just people that waste time. I want people that go long term, you know? Yeah. And that's what it works better with business owners because they get it, you know, they're investing in themselves.
Yeah, us too. It's a very similar client overlap. Like our best clients are ones that we can develop a relationship with because anybody can get shirts printed on any fucking street corner. But like what we do is we have a vested interest in helping our clients grow and succeed and sell as much fucking product as possible. Because if they're getting their product from us, anything we can do to help them on top of that is what we're going to do. For fucking free. Like, by the way, if any of you guys are clients, like I'll send you all 6 fucking chapters for free right now. Just DM your email and say, hey, I heard about those info products. We're your client. Fucking send it to me. I'll send them to you.
Hell yeah.
Just don't send them to anybody else. But that's the reality, dude. I want people to fucking succeed and grow. And that's a big part of the reason why we're doing this is because oftentimes like we're not a good fit for clients unless they're doing like a couple 100 units or they're doing like, you know, probably at least a couple 6 figures in revenue a year. And this product suite, like these 6 chapters will help them get there, legitimately help them get there. So if you're a client of ours and you want to get bigger and better, fucking let me know. Send these to you for free.
For free. Just don't fucking share it.
If you're not a client of ours yet, sorry, you got to pay.
Hell yeah. If you guys are looking to, if you're a real estate agent, a realtor, or even a broker, you're looking to get help with your social media platform, creating short form video content. That's what we do with me and my partner, Dylan at Visionary Collective. So if you need help with short form video content, hit me up.
I know people are probably going to ask too, do you have any interest in doing helping other people with their podcast?
Yeah.
Like maybe not being 100%. A co-host.
Yeah.
My co-host.
yeah, I would not co-host anyone else.
Can't cheat on me with co-host.
No, I would definitely not start a different podcast. No way. But yeah, people are interested, like how to set up. I actually did a post last week of just like a tour of what we use. And I got a lot of good feedback from that. So if anyone out there is just want to get on a quick phone call and just talk about how to set up a podcast from A to Z, I got you.
Yeah. If you guys are listening to this and you follow me, Kota sets up this entire thing. I show up at 10:30, usually on Thursday, and I sit down and we talk about shit. And then I get up and it posts on Friday. That's it. He handles everything else, which is a huge asset for me because then I don't have to focus. Like I'm literally leaving here in like a minute and I'm going to go have an all hands meeting with that team because they're fucking a bunch of shit up and I got to go be that asshole boss for like 30 seconds and then try to figure out how to not make them hate me for telling them that. We have a great team. It's just, I get so frustrated sometimes, man. Employees are like the best and worst part about a business. Like the worst part, because you're like, fuck, they're always just fucking shit up. You're like, so simple. But they're also the best part because like, dude, to get them to see them like grow and succeed and fucking like help them on their journey, like it's fucking awesome to see them like scale their lives. You know? Not just monetarily, but like see them become like stronger people.
That's crazy.
Well, the joys of entrepreneurship. All right.
Always. Episode 25 in the book.
There we go. Almost adults.
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
Shake it bake.